Shalom, shalom. I want to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double blessings and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Back up with another lesson through the spirit, man. It's just one of those ones where, you see a lesson pop up and whatnot, and get the spirit, man, to do a lesson. What's going on? So, it's a lucky for that, but you see one of those come on, man. So you see things on the news and it just instantly click like, yeah, I'm doing a lesson on that. So I did a lesson earlier on ICE, the ICE agents and whatnot getting attacked. I believe it was when I did that walk and talk. So that was last week. I know for sure. It's lucky. Let me see. Let me go to my videos. I'm gonna pull out a few things, but I'm kind of just going back over things that I already said, so it's not gonna be too long of a lesson. But nonetheless, man, it was this one that says that I said ICE agents are not ICE agents are being targeted. This is from a week ago. Jacob's trouble, your enemy is seeking you, right? And I was talking about how these ICE agents are seeking Jake and whatnot. And that was when they came out that they were deporting Haitians. Now it just came out and says U.S. deports migrants from Jamaica, Cuba, and other countries to the small African kingdom of Eswatini. And I never even heard of that. So that just made me think of this, man. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. We can go and start at verse. I can start at verse 61, man. My point being down below. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And we see that unfolding on the earth today. And it says, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Yahweh the Most High Power. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, right? So scattering is indeed a part of the curses, man. To that one nigga who said this is probably a month or two ago, who said, he said something along the lines that scattering was not a part of the curses. He said we're not cursing, scattering is not a part of the curses. Curses, something like that. Don't take what I just said word for word, bar for bar, but it's something along those lines. Because I don't want to bear false witness on that dude, but I know for sure that nigga said that scattering was not a part of the curse. And we're reading the book, where we're reading Deuteronomy 28, and it's indeed a part of the curses. So Scattering that's
Strong's H 6327. Poots. Poots.
you get that word diaspora from scattering, right? To scatter, be dispersed, right? Diaspora, dispersed, be scattered, to be spread abroad. So that's what just popped into my mind when they said that. It says it's a country in southern Africa. Yeah, so, but let me get this. Let me go back over it. So that's Jamaica's Benjamin Banyamian, which is Benjamin is the West Indians. Cuba is what, Manasseh, I want to say. Yeah, Cuba is Manasseh, if I'm not mistaken, man. Con. I always remember that because the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag, Manasha, the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag are flipped, literally. They're damn near perfect reverses of each other. And Ephraim and Manasseh, of course, were brothers. So reading on, man. So that's Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. Not oppression, but persecution. The United States sent 5 migrants it describes as barbaric criminals to the African nation of Eswatini, and the expansion of the Trump administration's largest secretive third country deportation program, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security said Tuesday. My thing is this, right? You have so-called white people, Edomites, who commit some of the most heinous crimes on the face of the earth over here in America. Do you think they're going this is a question for you, Jake. Do you think that they're going to deport them too? And the answer to that is no. Okay, if you didn't know that, it's a no. They're not going to deport them. Why? Like we've been saying, Jake, I don't know when you're going to get it to your head, but I that's also a rhetorical question. You know, I know that y'all going to have to be destroyed, but to say death by pain, y'all not going to understand that Esau Edom is indeed your enemy, and he's not fond of you at all. He dislikes you with a hatred, a great hatred, which is why the Lord in turn hates them. So it says the U.S. has already deported 8 men to another African country, South Sudan. To South Sudan after the Supreme Court lifted restrictions on sending people to countries where they have no ties. Right? Because you have people who, and this is a part of the dispersed either too, dispersed as well. The diaspora. This is Isaiah 11 and 12. We can start at 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left. And these are just places that we were dispersed from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. And the four corners of the earth meaning east, north, east, south, and west. If you look right, 1, 2, 3, 4, four corners. Okay, so meaning everywhere. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. So we've been spread throughout the four corners of the earth, man, dispersed all over the place. And I brought that out to say, like I said, people getting sent to countries they had never been before or had no ties to, right? You have people who, let's say, for instance, they came, their parents, their grandparents were from Italy, and they came over to America, and their parents were born in America, and they were born in America, so now they think they're American when really they have Italian ties. They send them back to Italy, but they never been there before. But that's just where they hear. Well, that's where they their forefathers came from, where their heritage came from. They're Italian, right? By bloodline, which really it would be Edomite, but it's just for this instance, they're Italian by bloodline, but their nationality is American because they grew up in America, right? So you have cases like that, people who are born, who great grandparents was born in Venezuela, and they've been here for 3 generations after that, and they get sent back to Venezuela, and they ain't never been to Venezuela. All they know is America. It says, in a late night post on X, Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the five men sent to Eswatini, who were citizens of Vietnam, Jamaica, Cuba, Yemen, and Laos, had arrived on a plane, but didn't say when or where, right? And then also, on top of that, that's where you get Hellenization from as well. You had Jakes, we were in Greece, the Grecian Empire and whatnot. We were over there and we were being Hellenized, right? We were Jakes, right? Jake by our lineage, by our bloodline, but we were Greeks by nationality. So you over there for generations and whatnot, and you have people thinking that they're Greeks now when they're actually Israelites by bloodline. So stuff like that, man. She said they were all convicted criminals and individuals so uniquely barbaric that their home countries refused to take them back. The men have been terrorizing American communities, but we're now off of American soil, McLaughlin added. So my question to them is this. They're saying that they're barbaric and they've been terrorizing American communities, but what's to say for the Americans or the so-called Israelis that go over there and terrorize other people's communities as well? What's the penalty for them, right? It says McLaughlin said they had been convicted of crimes including murder and child rape, and one was a confirmed gang member, right? You gotta remember, Edomites and Amalekites have done way worse things than this. Them niggas give them like I told Doc yesterday. If you get baptized by I believe either a Catholic or ish priest, you get a free head job as a baby. They circumcised with their mouth, right? That's the type of perverseness that Amalek has, right? Graping men to death. So my question to you is again, what is their penalty, right? And then you have people who think that these people aren't going to go unpunished for the things that they've done. This same group of people who love torture. Love torture. But hey, Jake's the savages though. Her social media posts included mugshots of the men and what she said was their criminal records and sentences. They were not named. It was not clear if the men had been deported from prison or if they were detained in immigration operations in the Department of Homeland Security. And U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement didn't immediately respond to requests for clarification. 4 of the 5 countries where the men are from have historically been resistant to taking back some citizens when they are deported from the U.S. That issue has been a reoccurring problem for Homeland Security even before Trump administration. And in a second, it's not just going to be these so-called criminals being deported from off this land. Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution. Okay. I should say persecuted. And the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee was persecuted thee. That's Deuteronomy 30:7. It says Psalm 109:16, because that he remembered not to shew mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in heart. And I could even just pull out, right, Revelation 2:10. And it reads, fear none of those things, this is Yahweh speaking, which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And those prisons are FEMA camps, man. They have those all over America. And that is a fact. They're also building more and more prisons and whatnot. You got that really big one they built in Louisiana, as well as the one that they're nicknaming Alligator Alcatraz, which people are, you have Edomites and among other people who are excited for that to open up, taking tours of the prison and whatnot like it's a museum. It says that ye may be tried and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Hey, like I say, it could be more than 10 days, could be less than 10 days. It's just depending on what the Lord has in store for you. That is if you are delivered up to those prisons, because we know that prophecy is really for the brothers. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But then also, you're going to have Jake, this regular 2/3, who's going to get delivered up in the prisons as well. But this verse after that is more so for for the elect, Lord willing, we be at that number, of course. It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, but be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Like I said, that's more so for the elect, man. Because we know that the 2/3, they don't have faith. Or they don't fear the Lord. It says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death, which are those ICBMs that will be shot over here into America, causing a lake of fire. For of the 5 countries where the men, I read that, it says been read crime, except people who have committed crimes. All right, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to read the rest of this. It says, like in South Sudan, there was no immediate comment from Eswatini authorities over any deal to accept third country deportees or what would happen to them in that country. Civic groups there raised concerns over the secrecy from a government long accused of clamping down on human rights. There has been a notable lack of official communication from the Eswatini government regarding any agreement or understanding with the U.S. to accept these deportees. I'm not even trying to pronounce the dude's name. A spokesperson for the pro-democracy group Swalimo said in a statement sent to the Associated Press, it wasn't clear if they were being held in a detention center, what their legal status was, or what Eswatini's plans were for the deported men, he said. Eswatini, previously called Swaziland, is a country of about 1.2 million people between South Africa and Mozambique. Political parties are favorably banned. It says one of the world's last remaining absolute monarchies, and the last African king, Mswati III, has ruled by decree since 1986. Favorably banned, and pro-democracy groups have said for years. Discuss political dissent. Okay, erupting in Eswatini. Dozens were killed by security forces. Okay. Skimming this. The U.S. administration has hailed deportations as a victory for the safety and security of the American people. Dalamini said his organization wanted to know the plans for the 5 men sent to Eswatini and any potential risk to the local population. The U.S. is seeking more deals, nations to take deportees. So basically, they're trying to find nations that will take deals on these people they're trying to deport. Some nations have pushed back. Nigeria, which wasn't part of the White House summit, said it has rejected pressure from the U.S. to take deportees who are citizens of other countries. The U.S. has also sent hundreds of Venezuelans and others to Costa Rica, El Salvador, and Panama, but has identified Africa as a continent where it might find more governments willing to strike deportation agreements. I'm telling y'all, man, it's not no coincidence, dog. They sending these people to Jake countries, right? Which I know not all African countries are Jake countries, but there are some countries that Jake still dwells in over there. Mainly the ones off the western coast. It says the 8 men deported by the U.S. to war-torn South Sudan, where they arrived early this month, previously spent weeks at a U.S. military base in nearby Djibouti, located on the northeast border of Ethiopia, as a case over the legality of sending them there played out. It's not the South Sudanese government has not released an agreement on the U.S. to take deportees. Not a dumping ground for criminals. Nations be willing to take third-party deportees. Right. No, you know what Micah 2:1 says, man. Let me get that real quick. says Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go hardly, for this time is evil. Right? So they're getting away with it now, but the Lord has something in store for them. And take captives whose captives they were. And I'm going to end it off with this. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. And it reads, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast under the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, right? And that man-child was Yahushua. So he's persecuting Jake, man. And they know that their time is running out, so they coming down hard, man. They got to. Their plan, their time is running out, so they got to get their plans rolling. They got to get the ball rolling, man. If you all are aware, America is behind on things that they should have been done years ago, right? So they're behind schedule when it comes to a lot of things. Nonetheless, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. I'm going to close it off there. Call Allah Yahweh and Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Kakodash. Double blessing and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth with the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. And until next time, I say Shalom Israel. Shalom. And as always, we're one day close to the kingdom, man. Shalom. And Cyber just ended, but I meant to say this before in my lesson. Shabbat Shalom.